And this is a breaking development as far as Twiiter India and its legal woes are concerned. Twiiter India MD has filed a caveat before the Supreme Court of India. You'd remember that Karnataka High Court had given Twiiter MD interim relief, and the interim relief was about in-person appearance in the Loni video case, the fake video case. And we are expecting that the Ghaziabad police or the UP government may challenge the High Court order. A caveat is filed before the Supreme Court of India just as an application, just as an intimation to the court that in case there is any order which is passed against a person, an individual or a company, they should be heard. That is the meaning of a caveat application. That application has been filed by Twiiter India MD. It is abundantly clear with this move that Twiiter India and the top leadership expects this legal trouble to escalate from here on. The Karnataka High Court earlier had given a temporary interim relief to Maheshwari, saying that he does not need to appear in person and he can record his statement before the Ghaziabad police through video conferencing. Pallavi is with us on the broadcast, getting us more details on that story. So, Pallavi, Maheshwari is expecting that this legal trouble will escalate. We're also hearing that the UP police may challenge the Karnataka High Court order before the Supreme Court. So, Twiiter and its legal troubles continue.
Yes, and I'm just adding on to information you put up, Anusha, because you're the one who's reporting for what happened in the Supreme Court. But just to add on from the perspective of Twitter sources, of course, they are worried. They are also very apprehensive. And it's not about this particular case. But, you know, if you've noticed in the last 1 week, what has been happening with Twitter? First of all, the complete face-off with the government. From that account of the Ravi Shankar Prasad was blocked for an hour. Even that of Dr. Shri Ram, and Shri Ram plans to take it up in the parliamentary committee. The government's consistent allegation against Twitter that it's very much a party to much of the provocative content which goes on the Twitter space, and the fact that Twitter doesn't want to, unlike the other social media platforms, follow the rules which have been set out by the IT ministry. And here I'm talking about the new rules. So you're right. I mean, as you're reporting, Twitter certainly has a reason to be worried about, and therefore at least legally they want to be very sure that they are safe. When it's going to be a long political battle also that they're going to be fighting with the government.
Pallavi, I also want to talk a little bit about the entire debate on the intermediary status. Intermediary is a classification under the Information Technology Act. Right now, one of the key arguments is that if Twiiter India does not comply with the 2021 guidelines that were issued earlier, an FIR can be registered against them. They are liable for the content. Twitter also seems to be caught in a political crossfire between the government and the opposition in many ways.
Yeah, I mean, you know, one protection which many of the social media platform has, and especially when they get caught in controversies and provocative information or tweets or, you know, as a case may be, is, you know, but to shield themselves by saying we cannot be held responsible for an individual opinion of a person and we take action as and when it's required. That's the defense which often came in from Twitter, that we have even suspended high-profile celebrity accounts whenever we felt that they were being provocative in nature. That shield has now been taken away from Twitter, and that's also a part of the problems of Twitter. They can no longer get away by saying, okay, we cannot be held responsible, because they're now going to be held responsible. And that's the reason why they want to be legally, politically, in every possible way as secure as they can be.
Pallavi, my last question to you about the parliamentary panel. On the agenda is women's safety and security, but the larger ecosystem under which this appearance is really happening, how do you expect that parliamentary panel meeting to really go forward?
Well, the last parliamentary panel meeting was also supposed to be on women's safety, but we saw how the BJP members over there, and joined in by some of the other opposition MPs, jumped in on Twitter and asked them several questions about, you know, not complying with the new rules. This parliamentary standing committee meeting is going to take place on 29th. The agenda is also going to be on women's safety, but Shri Ram has already said that as a chairperson, I'm definitely going to want to know from Twitter.
All right, my colleague Pallavi Ghosh is getting us all the perspective on that very important story. We'll continue tracking all the legal developments around the microblogging site Twitter. Right now, shifting up